Hey everybody, it's Kip and Patty for our first segment of our fantasy football updates this year. Excited to be here. Patty, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It sure will be.
Okay, well, let's get started. What do we want to know about fantasy football?
Well, as coaches are doing their lineups for the week, who's going to be hot?
Well, it's an interesting question every week. It all comes down to matchups a lot of times, and I think there's players at each position this week to look at. Hakeem Nicks of the New York Giants, they're going to be hosting Tampa Bay. They've got kind of shorter corners. Nicks is a big, physical, tall receiver. I think he's going to have a huge game for Eli Manning in a game the Giants have to win after the Cowboys beat him in the opener. I also like Cam Newton, which you'll like. He's on your fantasy team. Cam Newton of the Panthers going back home. RG3, Robert Griffin for the Redskins, kind of tore up that Saints defense last week. Cam Newton's a bigger, faster, stronger version of Robert Griffin. Maybe not faster, but certainly a comparable model, and I think he's going to have a big game against the Saints. And my third pick this week, kind of an obscure player, maybe at the bottom of your roster, Jacquizz Rodgers. He plays for the Falcons. I think they're going to attack the Denver defense on Monday night more in the middle instead of on the corners where Denver has Champ Bailey and Tracy Porter. So I think Jacquizz Rodgers is going to have a big game. Well, Petty, let's start with the quarterbacks. You know, Mark Sanchez had a huge game for the Jets last week against Buffalo. They're going into Pittsburgh this weekend. I think the Steelers are going to be a little angry after that Sunday night loss in Denver. I think it's going to be tough for the Jets to score very many points. I'd back off of Mr. Sanchez this week. And also, might surprise some people to hear this, but Robert Griffin III, as great as he was in his debut in New Orleans, now the Rams have had a chance to look at him a little bit. Jeff Fisher, the new coach in St. Louis, a defensive genius. I think they'll have a plan to control him a little bit. I don't know if the Redskins will have quite the same success that they had last week, so don't expect a huge week from Robert Griffin III, or the Redskins for that matter, on their trip to St. Louis.